This is Brock Lesnar being a freak of nature. When Brock Lesnar returned to WWE, he started beef with John Cena, and that led to a match at Extreme Rules. During one of the spots, the referee went down to the ground, and that is when Brock Lesnar picked him up like he was a ragdoll.
Well, he's got to be smiling ear to ear tonight. Did you see that?
This is freakish considering that the referee, Charles Robinson, is 5'6" and 150 pounds. It shouldn't look so easy to carry a grown man like that, but Brock Lesnar did that, and he actually did it twice. In that same Extreme Rules match, Brock Lesnar also decided to throw himself towards John Cena. I don't think that he's even self-aware of his athleticism because Lesnar miscalculated the jump and he went flying out of the ring.
Brock Lesnar! Oh, man!
This is a bump that could have easily injured someone and put them out of action for many months, but not Brock Lesnar though. He laughed it off and just continued the match. The guy is a complete freak. This isn't the first time that Brock flew out of the ring. Randy Orton even explained that it's happened before in OVW, and this was Brock Lesnar's reaction when he went flying out that time.
Just start doing the rope running drills where you just, you just burn, you just go. He didn't hook the top rope, as I'm sure you've been told. Make sure you get the arm over that top rope, otherwise you're gonna end up in the bleachers. And sure enough, that motherfucker, he leapt out of the ring between the second and third rope and took out like 20 metal chairs. And then just popped up, dusted himself off, and was like, I bet y'all would like to see that again. And we were like, it's cool, you know?
Speaking of OVW, that is where Brock Lesnar pulled off one of his most impressive moves ever. The Beast became a high flyer out of nowhere. He perfected the shooting star press, and he performed it a number of times.
Jumping out of the ring, Brock Lesnar on the top rope, back on! Shooting star press! Shooting star press! Now Brock Lesnar on the top, good God, hit it! Yes! Shooting star press with a 300-pounder, 2, 3, they got it!
This is why he used it at WrestleMania 19 in his match with Kurt Angle for the WWE Championship. Unfortunately, he botched the finisher in that match and landed headfirst into the mat.
What the hell's Lesnar doing, Cole? Oh my God! Lesnar went for the shooting star press!
Despite this horrific botch, he managed to avoid a serious life-altering injury, and somehow Brock Lesnar just continued the match and ended up winning the title. To this day, nobody understands how he finished that match. It was later confirmed that he suffered a concussion, but other than that, he was fine to return to the ring weeks later. However, it is worth noting that Brock retired the shooting star press after this, but I still can't fathom the fact that he was even able to pull it off in the first place. Brock Lesnar let us know that he was an athletic freak in his WWE debut. This is him throwing Spike Dudley from the mat to the air before catching him for a powerbomb. How many people can pull that off? On top of that, the powerbombs looked absolutely rough. I would have retired before taking those bumps. That wasn't the only unbelievable powerbomb that he's hit. There was also that time that he lifted The Undertaker from the triangle choke into the powerbomb.
The champion's in all kinds of trouble, but now Lesnar back to his feet.
Cole, look at this.
Look at the strength of that animal.
I feel bad for Rey Mysterio. The WWE used him for many spots where he gets thrown around like a toy, and sadly, this happened with Brock Lesnar. After jumping towards the Beast, he caught Rey in midair and tossed him back into the ring.
Mysterio in midair. In a world of trouble here.
Although he was off by just a little bit, he was very close to going over the top rope, but regardless, that is still extremely impressive. Look at this back body drop to Eddie Guerrero.
Continue probably the whole match to and through. Look at the back drop. Eddie Guerrero off the big back drop.
He sent Eddie flying with this one. It almost looks like Guerrero wasn't prepared to be thrown so high in the air, but then again, it's Brock Lesnar, so he should have expected to be thrown that high. The suplex and F5 are two of Brock Lesnar's greatest moves in his arsenal. Let's look at some of the most impressive times that he used them. The first one is when he caught RVD in midair for a perfect F5.
Wow. Lesnar just caught him in midair. Oh, the F5.
Brock did this to a 6 foot tall, 245 pounder like it was nothing. That is just crazy. After that, we have to take a look at this F5 to Austin Theory off the Elimination Chamber pod. This is a tough move that most people would not even think about doing. There's barely any space up there, and you need to perfectly toss your opponent in an exact area so they don't die. But at the end of the day, you could trust Brock because he's a freak of nature. We can't forget about that famous F5 on The Undertaker at WrestleMania. Not only was this iconic because it led to the end of the streak, but you've also got to remember that Undertaker is 7 foot tall and weighs well over 300 pounds. Brock Lesnar's belly-to-belly suplex on Mark Henry is actually insane.
Oh, look at Brock Lesnar! Oh,
the only thing crazier is when he did it to the Big Show.
Brock Lesnar, the champion!
And then you've got all of these wild F5s.
Rikishi 353! Look at this! The F5! F5 to Strowman! And Big Show with the right hands, oh my God! He's on Brock Lesnar's shoulder! He's going for the F5! Through the table! And F5 through the table! Underneath it, look at, oh my God! No! With Big Show up on his
Brock Lesnar suplexing and F5ing these giants is always very fun to watch. At SummerSlam 2022, Brock Lesnar made his entrance with a tractor. Before he would go on to use it to destroy the ring, he jumped off this tractor onto Roman Reigns.
Oh my gosh, there! Didn't waste any time! A face press!
If you need more proof that he's a freak of nature, just look at how he dodged and reversed Goldberg's spear at WrestleMania 33.
Look at the spear! Oh my God! Good God! What a leapfrog by Brock!
Look at these brutal chair shots he takes from the Hardys without even flinching. Brock Lesnar really is indestructible. Speaking of indestructible, we all thought the WWE ring would never break. That was until Brock Lesnar superplexed Big Show off the top turnbuckle. The entire ring collapsed.
500 pound superplex! Oh my God! What the hell?
And the last thing that makes Brock Lesnar a true freak of nature is the fact that not only did he find success in WWE, but he also managed to join the NFL to play some football. He also joined the UFC, where he won the UFC World Heavyweight Championship. That is just insane. Brock Lesnar is the only person to compete in the WWE, in the UFC, and the NFL. There aren't too many sports crossover generational talent, which makes Brock Lesnar truly a one-of-a-kind athletic freak of nature.